in the letter to the president. From where you sit, the Ekosiisen in that was saying.
Yo, Kobe. Ordinarily, the idea would be cast or resigning a position here, say, and a public discussion. But in the process of resigning, Amidu'S at the might be at the
Godwin, maybe I no so kakra my why as a voice no form.
Okay, make
yeah.
Ordinarily, no. So because of resign here, Obi, and one say or a man of crime, na also the new man meeting man, that they took, and no. But a couple say in this particular instance. Amidu'S at the normal be at the Africa. Now, Osha in the letter dated 15th November 2020 now addressed to the President of the Republic of Ghana, Office of the President, Jubilee House, Resignation of appointment as Special Prosecutor. Now, the details, say. Or maintaining a conduct relative to the act establishing the office. I say diametrically opposed. Now, Obi, me what the same has said. The Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959. Now, Osha, date of us. 2nd January 2018. Unipa was sent to this act. Man to me. Obi. Because okay, section 4 of the act now, or say, except as otherwise provided in the Constitution, the office is not subject to the direction or control of a person or an authority in the performance of the functions of the office. Now, Obi, okay, sections 4 of the Act. Now, they run against Krata Amidu'S Etoyena. Now, the Omanpeni are engaged in what broadly Rebecca obstruction of justice. Now, okay, America, and Brown no more attempt to say Gombe in the Clinton. One of the charges for the issue of obstruction of justice.
Yeah.
Now, a couple the investigation into the Monica Lewinsky affairs. Now, Omanpeni Clinton interfere with that investigation. Now, in this case, the ISA
Asempa FM
will share paragraph 3 of the letter. I mean, it's also cry copy. Or say, the one condition upon which I accepted to be nominated as a special prosecutor when you invited me to your office on the 10th January 2018 was your firm promise to me that you will respect and ensure that by your government, for my independence and freedom of action as a special prosecutor. Several things have happened since then. But your reaction to my letter with reference number is dated 16th October 2020, which was delivered to you on the 19th October 2020, conveying to you the conclusions and observations of the analysis of the risk of corruption and anti-corruption assessment of the Japan Royalty Limited transaction, convinces me beyond every reasonable doubt that you had labored under the mistaken belief that I could hold the office of the special prosecutor as your poodle. Obi, this is a very serious allegation. Now, for Mr. Martin Amidu, knowing very well that the act insulates in the performance of his function, Obi, from interference from any authority, and to suggest, even remotely, say the president has been laboring. There can also be a one labor. I say, "Not being not then say, or no Martin Amidu, or who did the office of special prosecutor as me put over can work and presentation. Tell you, I also be a 1 year term. Come on, I watch the S1. That's clearly contrary to the act, no act.
But lawyer, one other thing, one other thing they say, for now, wouldn't it be fair for us to maybe hold on a bit, get the official response, maybe get the official response from the presidency to the issues raised by Martin Amidu? Then we can make a fair, because now, no, Martin Amidu the Nkwana Wate and making some of the conclusive statements I will make it easier.
For instance, Obi, Martin Amidu said, a idea, ocean paragraph,
FM.
The page 1 or say, quote, after receiving my letter and the reference on the 19th of October 2020, you ordered your chief of staff on 20th October 2020 to deliver an urgent message personally to me the same day. When she could not reach me on telephone, she decided to invite me in writing. In her letter with reference number dated 20th October stating, quote, I've been directed by HE, the President of the Republic, to deliver an urgent message personally to you.
Asempa FM.
I am looking forward to you seeing you. Now, or say, I received the Chief of Staff letter the next morning and reported to her office as requested. The message she delivered to me was that, quote, you had instructed that I was not to do anything about my report on the Japan royalty transaction until I had met you Friday. Obi, Omanpeni, what's Omanpeni's role in matters involving the OSP? Maskanti act na means anywhere Omanpeni ever role except with the appointment. So, Obi, communication EFA Chief of Staff, Krata Wadrojo with reference number. Obi, in all sincerity, is it the case that Omanpeni and the Chief of Staff to do these things? Obi, Sebio, is it also the case that as Martin Amidu Eka, or say, I met your Excellency in your office in the afternoon of 23rd October 2020, and I underscore the fact that my letter 15th October to you was sent out of necessary courtesy or prior information to your office, and as the Commander-in-Chief responsible for national security. Obi, are you saying even remote say Omanpeni and Martin Amidu on the 23rd day of October 2020?
No, but from these questions, am I to take it say no, Mebao, am I to take it say you believe everything you've read from the special prosecutor?
No, it's not a question of belief. It's not a question of belief at all. In the past, the Juma Martin Amidu we've never asked for the other side.
Oh, really?
Let us not change. Oh, yeah, we've never asked the other side. Look, Obi, see, let me tell you. Sometimes, and your money be in Minka. Look, there was a time in the history of this country, a Supreme Court judge making an obiter comment.
Yeah.
Create loot and share. Okay.
Yeah.
It became a political mantra. Member. Said you, at the time a Supreme Court judge no make that comment, albeit obiter. Na umbisa ubia numasem. But he made that obiter comment. Yenyanum in the MPP took that comment to town. In fact, and the MPP era political advert almost repeated the same trade route and share. Today, me, Command Penny, Obey and a man Penny, me share another. Martin, and no. A shibum, Omushia, and Omakushia. Na sama Omakoka, medio said you, the new man Penny Kushia, near Casa Maya Diam the Babetriga. Or no finding in the world to put it out. Omamuha Obi Martin Assemblia or Betu Obiano. The episode, Yen animal in the MPP takes it as the gospel truth. And they have run people's reputation down with episodes that Martin Amidu actual.
Yeah, but if you flip the coin, a lawyer, maybe a better be also. For some of you in the NBC, you don't find them credible. Why this? I didn't find it credible.
No, I'm coming there. That's why I'm asking. Only moderator.
Yes.
Semper FM.
Edudzi. Reference letters are reference here. OP. Stroke. That's the chief of staff. 050. And you're not correct. What I say, now oh Martin, how come you have fabricated it? Because if you are journalist, obis, or any check, they're okay and you're not correct. We are making said MPP for I issue a release.
Yeah.
Relative to this matter. They don't respond to the substance of these matters. There is not one single factual matter. MPP release me Leonard Senior, Yabuabia Sam, and Sadano. Every few things, the factual matters that Martin Amidu, except for the party to say there, to their mind, the issues are Martin a trophy on. Does not amount to interference. But
is that not what the presidency says they will do? Say they are going to officially respond to the issues at Martin Erezi. Because, for example, you can say the letter from the chief of staff to Martin, you mean the content of that letter. What we know is that Martin responded to a letter from the chief of staff.
But there is a direct question, for instance. I have been directed by HE, the President of the Republic, to deliver an urgent message personally to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Who say any letter? No? Is that okay?
No, I'm not saying it's a new letter name, but that will not be the only line in the letter.
I say even persons in government are running away from this. And for me, I think it's a good strategy not to provoke matter. Because
I'm sure the baby baba.
They also on a man penny. Ebiana omanpeni ebisano other favor odipija ebese guomanpeni inimase anything cleverly o share ya babia someone expire the crack na also na in fact he basically ran away from the content of Martin Amidu's. And let me applaud him for that smart move. Because if you had gone front with the details, may I sure say by now 2 episodes appear.
He's actually here. Your senior is here. Indeed, okay, now it's here.
Yeah. Oh no, was I me and senior in chambers. The vice chair.
Yes.
On the subsidiary legislation committee.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, where the member about why are there papa. Say cleverly, we can see the content of the letter. As a note in number 2, and they're trying to recall, like, to draw NDC into the conversation. It's normal. But, Obi, it does not disprove the claim of Amidu'S, for instance, Your Excellency insisted that I should withhold any further action on the report for 1 week.
For 1 week?
Obi, this is quite serious. Now, look, what do we say? America. Recently, investigation via James Comey and Home area. Trump. No someone in particular, we are no more here. And he had cause to fire James Comey, the FBI director. Corruption comes in different forms, Obi. And so, for the special prosecutor, whose office by law is insulated from all forms of interference or control or direction. And thankfully, the senior Yabuabia Sama, Omona, Omu put it together. When you say Yabuabia Sama, may other life, no or a anti-corruption crusader.
Yeah. And he still is.
Oh, that. We're giving up that role. What you say?
Yes.
And it is all because, and you see, some of these corruption issues do not involve him as a person, but association. Because for Martin to even suggest that, I agreed reluctantly to your terms, but gave you notice immediately that I did not intend to continue as a special prosecutor because of your interference in the performance of my functions under the law. Quite clearly, the effort in the rule of law, the respect for the rule of law. Now, yes, so Mantini, I am lawless. With the greatest respect to the office he occupies. Because he assented to the act.
Asempa FM.
Martin said, by law, his office is insulated from interference. But Anamontona or Mantini are taking off. Now, the SIS from Obi is when Martin Amidu accepts that you eventually invited me to your office in the evening of Sunday. And na omampeni atomin safre matinami do the brand interest I do to na mo dia fa etapa risk assessment no. Obi, this is bad for governance in this country.
Okay.
Now, for Martin to even see there, you eventually invited me to your office in the evening of Sunday, 1st November. Where again, I accepted that I was not going to bargain over the independence of my functions as a special prosecutor. In fact, I refused to take a copy of the alleged comment from the Minister of Finance you offered me, as that would have compromised my independence. I've seen that many animals in the entity have tried to put a spin. So they're not Omampeni Omampeni abe a conduit through which Kenoforiata put in a response.
Ekosiisen on Asempa
FM. All that the
FM.
president was doing is to ask Martin, say, oh, this is the response from my cousin, the finance minister, so you can incorporate it or something. And so that will not amount to interference. what Omon can say, what kind of a Japan deal, the corruption risk assessment report itself. Martin talks about the fact that it has to take him considerable period of time to even get certain documentations.
Yeah, but you remember he commended the finance minister and the deputy for more cooperation in that assessment too.
I beg you. Look, if you read, for instance, the appointment of African Legal Services,
Asempa FM,
in this transaction, and I noticed that as part of this conversation earlier, Omar Gabi almost the opportunity to sleep in your studio to speak to this matter. Have you read the 64-page report on how
Ekosiisen on
law firm
Asempa
was
FM
recruited? Have you done that?
No, it's part of the report, yes.
You should try and read it. Martin described it as unique. Very unique. Look, Obi, let's take it this way.
Edudzi, my final point, me pacho,
and then by doing that, I just want to read it.
Okay.
But more importantly, Your Excellency was acting as a judge in your own court, in usurping my functions to take up any independent follow-up action. Do you know what that means? When we say you're a lawyer, there are two principles. Lawyer Nibia Granifio, the Odi Atheron pattern rule, and at the Nemo Udes in Casas rule. Offensive. So for any suggestion, even remotely, say your president, the man penny, are taking upon himself the role of a judge in his own court. That
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Regrettable. And this letter, Martin, I would have wished that it never happened that way. Because, I say our jaiba. But sometimes, no. As lawyer, I might get divorced. Sometimes what I tell the parties is, once there's a child, don't do anything that will lead an indelible mark on that relationship. At least for the sake of the children. That's what I said. In this case, in some matters, the autocrats, especially on maintaining direct interference, which undermines the OSP Act, is the lowest we have seen under the Fourth Republic. And that is why I am not surprised. The government propagandists and spin doctors, the content of the letter itself, it is the lowest.
Edudzi,
another dubious distinction. Your man pinning. Asanya, Mechia, Mistinia, Yakwanya, studio.
Ojo, me that's a
and
Lawyer Godwin Edudzi Tamakloe, a member of the NDC's legal team.
I just want to commit to
Lawyer YB, Akwa Badapom to say.